Welcome to our existing districts. Welcome to our new districts that have joined the School-Based Mental Health Project. Today is our kickoff, or for some of you, it may be a refresher about the Mental Health Project and the expansion. And we're happy to give you a release date for when applications are due for the school-based mental health professional positions. Thank you for joining us. My name is Matt Buckman, and I am the Executive Director of the Stress and Trauma Treatment Center. And with me is Dr. Martha Weld. We're happy to be here and to be your support throughout the duration of this project that has about 4 years left. First, why does this matter, and why is it an initiative across the state of Illinois to grow school-based mental health services? For many years, we've known that many of our students struggle with mental health needs, struggle with accessing mental health services and getting the quality treatment and programming that would be necessary for them to heal from traumatic experiences or from just mental health issues and struggles and emotional dysregulation struggles that they are having. 1 out of every 5 students at the very least, and even more since COVID has occurred, experience a mental health diagnosable condition. And many of those youth and families do not have the ability to access services or receive quality services from professionals throughout the community. Those who can, we think it's great and we want to continue that service. Those who can't, we want to be able to grow mental health services within our school districts so that there's a stronger and more advanced array of services, because research has given us this information that's the foundation of this work, which is that youth are going to be able to access and utilize services that are provided in the school, and they're more likely to complete treatment, they're more likely to receive treatment, they're more likely to see reduction in symptoms when we provide or bring the services to them. The goal of the School-Based Mental Health Project is to increase the mental health support for children and youth in Illinois schools. That includes expanding school-based mental health professional positions, providing training and support to those positions, and training and support to your districts throughout this project.
We are so grateful to have you as partners in the School-Based Mental Health Project. Congratulations for being selected and for your care in investing in completing that application. We want to let you know that we have 59 partners across the state of Illinois. We are delighted that we have them all the way from the very top to the very bottom of the state. We are also wanting to let you know that you have the potential to receive the $25,000 for each expanded school-based mental health position within your district. But also, you are not limited to academic year 24-25 that is coming up. You have been selected as a partner for the duration of this grant, which means that if you continue to expand and add another school-based mental health position within your district, so you add one for 24-25 and you add one for 25-26, you are eligible to apply for the competitive $25,000 funding each year that you expand your school-based mental health providers within your district. And that is until the fall of 27. What are the objectives of the School-Based Mental Health Project? As Dr. Buckman has said, it's to increase the number of providers working within our high-need LEAs. You have been selected as a high-need LEA as you met the scoring criteria when you completed the application. Also, we are not just interested in increasing the number, but to make sure that we retain them within your district, that they aren't just joining for 1 year, but that they are there positively impacting students for years to come. We are also passionate about increasing the diversity of the backgrounds of the individuals that are serving our students across the state so that they can mirror the students that are throughout our state, and to have the school-based mental health providers coming from the communities in which they continue to serve the students. This is a student-focused school-based mental health provider initiative. We recognize that educators also need supports, but per the grant components, this is student-focused. The mental health of the students is the primary focus of this. We recognize that having the caregivers of the families also as a comprehensive unit yields positive results for the students. As a result, it does include family modalities. That is a potential that the providers are able to do. However, we are not able to provide direct services to the caregivers themselves as individuals. The requirements to be eligible for the $25,000. First, as we've mentioned a few times, you must expand the number of your school-based mental health providers within your district. And you also must meet a $16,700 minimum in-kind funding requirement. That can include TRS, that can include health insurance, it could include anything that district dollars are paying for. It cannot be used, Title I dollars, for example, or other federal dollars cannot be used. They must be district dollars. Additionally, there are some reporting requirements that must be met, a biannual report on the students that are served, the in-kind funding, which is very simplistic, and we will let you know what that is. And there are other items that were enumerated in the application that you completed. There is an initial application that you will fill out by April 12th or following, as we will explain shortly, and the importance of that online application for any potential school-based mental health provider that is hired or that you have hired. We recognize that there's going to be still a great deal of questions that you're going to have lingering post this presentation. We will be sending FAQs, and additional information about that will be shared in the FAQs, and we ask you to refer to that.
As you're looking to apply on April 12th for your new expanded positions, we want to say that you may know exactly who your provider is and who you're trying to recruit, or you may not know that. You may just know who an applicant is. At the point of April 12th, if you submit for an applicant, and a district can submit on behalf of one of their applicants, or the applicant can submit themselves through the portal that we'll describe a little bit later. When doing so, if, let's say, a district submitted on behalf of an applicant, if they found out that then that applicant is not able to start in the fall of 2024, then that district would still be able to utilize that funding for a different applicant that they may end up recruiting for that position. So after the individual application date, you can expect a few things, and I'll describe a few of those, but you'll also have this slide to reference in the future. One of those things is that the district will get a memorandum of understanding that explicitly reminds you of the expectations of both parties and all involved, and individuals will receive a contract as well. The individual school-based mental health professional does have expectations of what is clearly needed from them, including things like training, including a 40-hour training on evidence-based practices, school-based mental health, including their service obligation that they'll have to complete to your district or within one of our districts based on the funding that's received. Around July of 2024, you will start to see funding that will come in, and our communities of practice will start for school-based mental health supervisors, mentors, school-based mental health professionals, and those that are respecializing in school-based mental health. Towards the end of the semester, as Dr. Weld had talked about, end of every semester, we'll have a survey that goes out. And then lastly, the service obligation for every $5,000 received, that school-based mental health professional is expected to commit to 3 months of a service obligation. That service obligation does not start until the end of their first year. And so if someone started in the year of 2023, 2024, the current school year we're in, they can be eligible to apply, or you can apply on their behalf. Um, in that, their service obligation would not begin until June of 2025, given they're applying right now in this semester. Or if they apply to start, or you apply on their behalf to start in the school year of 2024, 2025, their service obligation would not start until the end of that school year as well. And here's a little bit of a breakdown of some of the dates are a little different if they're starting 2024, 2025, but both groups are eligible to apply for funding.
This is on the Stress and Trauma Treatment Center. In the email, you have the link for the Stress and Trauma Treatment Center website. You will find most of the information that you need for this project on this website. But right now, we really want to draw your attention to this particular area. If you notice, the very first blue button is labeled as the school-based mental health professional application. That is where you must go and complete the application for your potential school-based mental health provider or for your actual school-based mental health provider. And you can complete it, or the provider can complete it, as Dr. Buckman has said. This application must be completed for you to activate the potential to be funded with the $25,000. You can complete it. It's very quick. It will take less than 10 minutes, but it is a vital step to the process of the potential receiving of the $25,000. This right here is actually what that application looks like. So we told you that it's very simple and very direct. So to give you a brief view of what the process looks like, this is a little quick snapshot for you.
When we're looking at selection of school-based mental health professionals and providers that you are bringing into your district, there will be a competitive review process that will be utilized for the selection of those providers and the districts that will receive funding from here forward. And so all of our partnering districts are now eligible to submit their provider, and then it is selected based on this scoring rubric or merit-based rubric that allows us to select those individuals and fund those individuals and expanded roles that best meet the characteristics of the U.S. Department of Education intention and funding and the Illinois State Board of Education project that you're a part of. To break down a little bit of these categories, and then you have this information to reference later on, is that the first thing is we put the most priority points towards the expansion and new positions that are there. And so if my district has 4 positions and we've decided in the next school year, 2024, 2025, to add an additional 5th position, that will get more points than if maybe I had an unfilled position that I tried to fill before, or I used to have filled, and now I'm trying to fill a position that had already existed. And so it's not that a person's not eligible or a district's not eligible. It's just that one position will get more, or one type of position will get more priority points than another. As Dr. Weld had talked about, that we are focused on diversity and equity and inclusion. And one of those ways of prioritizing this is that if we have individuals that are underrepresented within the field of school social work, school counseling, or school psychology, based on various characteristics, if they are underrepresented, then we give priority points to those individuals. If they are from the community that your district resides in, then they get priority points for that. And if the addition of that provider's demographics or characteristics or identity allows your school-based mental health team from year 4 to year 5, allows them to be a better mirror or reflection of your community, then they could be added. So as an example, if I had 4 providers and all of my providers were Caucasian at this particular point, and I added a 5th provider that was a person of color, And my community shows that 20% or more of my community are our student population or persons of color, then we believe that that will create a better opportunity for individuals of color to access, utilize, and benefit from the services that are provided. And so we will give priority points to those applicants as well. So not only the characteristics of the applicant, but also the characteristics of the roles and responsibility of this school-based mental health professional matter to us. And so what we want to be able to do is, as I talked about earlier, we recognize that many individuals and many families may not be able to access services outside of the school district. So therefore, we want to grow that school districts are able to provide a comprehensive array of mental health services, and that those services with this new position include individuals that are working at the top of their license, where they're providing tier 2, tier 3 group and individualized supports to address the mental health needs of students, including providing assessment and diagnoses and treatment plans and addressing those needs, knowing that, and we've seen this for many, many years, that there's not always someone to refer to, or there's not always availability outside in our community for these needs to be addressed. We want to use this funding to grow that comprehensive service array within our building walls and on our campuses. We want to prioritize and give priority points for those school-based mental health professionals that are devoting the majority of their time to providing direct intervention and direct services to our students, either through small group or one-on-one services or interventions. Also, we want to be able to prioritize your district for hiring, prioritize points for your district hiring any of these professionals. However, if your district feels like it cannot hire one of these individuals, although they don't get priority points for this, you could have community partners or partnering agencies that are going to hire the individual you want to be able to be within your district, and that they can co-locate or integrate that individual within your school-based mental health team. Again, less priority points will also provide training and support to them. And those individuals that are in your school will still have to obtain their professional educator license within 3 years. There are the last category is that we do prioritize those who already have their professional educator license or at least a provisional license. We understand that this day and age and the lack of providers in our communities and our districts means that we've had to be creative to get where we are. And so if you have someone that is licensed outside of the education system that is providing services, we will still, that's still allowable. But those who have their PAL will get priority points. But all school-based mental health providers, regardless of their situation, will have to have their professional educator license within 3 years of starting this role. We'll use this rubric to be able to help score the competitive process of which providers across the state will be selected for inclusion in this project, and allowing each of your districts to be able to do the important expansion that you're working towards.
We thank you so much for your time and attention today, and for your partnership and continuing to work on behalf of our students and delivering the school-based mental health needs that we all recognize is so desperately needed. Matt and I look very forward to working with all of you. We consider you partners throughout this process, and working with all of you is what brings us great joy. And we thank you for your service to all of the students throughout the state. We imagine you will continue to have questions. Please reach out to us at our emails listed. And if you need to set up calls, we're also happy to do that. Wishing you a wonderful day and a wonderful conclusion to your school year. Take care.